Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So thanks everyone for joining us tonight for the senior parent meeting. This is just an opportunity to go over the events that are coming up this year during the really end of the year for our seniors. A couple of things to mention for those of you who joined late. Everyone is muted except for the speaker. Speakers can unmute themselves when it's time for them to explain the information they're going to share. I would ask if you have any questions that you put them in the chat. If you're not able to do that, you can unmute yourself and ask a question, and we'll take questions at the end as well. So I guess it's worth stating at this point that obviously a lot of things are up in the air at the moment. And we are trying to do our best to share information with you as it becomes available and as decisions are being made. At this point, we're going through this presentation and all of the information we're sharing is based on the calendar that we've put together since the beginning of the year. Some of this may need to shift. Of course, if that is the case, I will be in contact with all of you as soon as we know that. We do have some flexibility with our seniors in terms of the very end of the year that would allow us, if needed, to make some adjustments. So I just wanted to put that out there. We're going to go through this tonight. This is as scheduled. But of course, as we all know, things are up in the air right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over the topics we'll review tonight. We're going to have a brief update from Anna Baccalaureate. Some of this information is new, given that many colleges have closed their campuses, so she's going to give you a bit more information regarding college decisions, how to reach out to counselors, if seniors need help making those decisions. Amy's going to go through a quick calendar of important events in May and June. I will briefly describe what senior shadowing is and what the requirements are for that. I believe Angela Seminara is going to go over baccalaureate and graduation. And then Maureen and Jackie are going to be talking about the graduation party. Okay, so why don't we get started with Anne? And if you want to go over this next slide.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. First, I want to thank the senior parents for all your support that you've provided to us as we took your students from 9th grade through senior year. We are very proud of their accomplishments, and we are looking forward to supporting them as they go through to the end of this year. This week, a number of colleges are providing their regular decisions to our students who have yet to select the college that they are attending. So this week and next, they will be providing those decisions, and we'll be giving students who are accepted an idea of the timeline of their response to the colleges. About 25% of the colleges have extended their response time rather than for May 1st to June 1st. So it's important as you receive the decisions, as your seniors receive their decisions, to get a sense first of when the response is, because many will adhere to the May 1st time, but others will extend it to June. And because of the situations on the college campuses where the campuses are closed, the tours and information sessions for admitted students as well as prospective students have been discontinued, the colleges are providing additional virtual tours, information online, email contact of current students to accepted students to really give them a better sense of the school since they cannot visit again. The counselors, we counselors are certainly available to field your questions, to extend our words to the admissions people if there are questions you have that you have not had answers to. So if you have any questions, any concerns regarding that, please contact us, because we really want to be able to support you again in this phase. My next topic has to do with seniors and the fact that we do send a final transcript to the one college that seniors identify they will be attending. And we want that transcript to reflect the performance that the colleges saw when they reviewed and accepted the students. So we really need to encourage our seniors and ask you to support that as well, to perform to the best of their ability between now and the end of the semester. This applies to all of their courses and, of course, to the AP courses that they are taking. Unfortunately, since not all the colleges grant credit to our students for 4s and 5s on the AP, sometimes students don't take the AP exam seriously. And we really want them to perform to the best of their ability, to work with their teachers between now and the AP timing, so that when they sit for the exam, they will have the best opportunity to do really well on these exams. The College Board has just yesterday announced that they are extending some flexibility in the test dates. So perhaps instead of that first and second week in May, they will defer the exam till the third week, and depending upon the students' completion of the courses, they might extend it even further. So the AP teachers have been provided with extensive information and also additional support to carry through the curriculum between now and the end of the year. And as we hear information and as the teachers receive this information, they will share that with the students as well. But by all means, it's really important for seniors to perform to the best of their ability between now and the end of the semester. The next topic that I'd like to mention is our senior surveys. One senior survey is that in Naviance, where we ask seniors to identify that college that they will attend, and also to give us a report on the decisions that they've received from all the schools that they've attended. We will be asking them to do that after May 1st or in the beginning of May, and then when they have made their final decision, if it's not May 1st, as soon as they have made that decision. We send one transcript to that college which they will attend. The results of their report really helps us in counseling students as they come up through the grades. We have another senior survey that we will be administering in April, and that is a senior survey through an organization called LifeTrack, which prepares a very interesting and helpful senior survey. Last year, through the support of the Bronxville Foundation, we were able to administer this survey, and the information that we gained from it was quite helpful. So we have decided to continue it, and that will be taking place within a few weeks with our seniors. And we asked them to give sincere feedback about their high school experience in all aspects: academic, social, extracurricular, and so forth. So we're looking forward to that. They should be looking for that. And then finally, we really encourage our seniors to stay in touch after they graduate. We have an alumni reception before the December break. We ask alums to come and participate in a panel, to email us with news, and we're always available, of course, to provide some assistance should they decide that the school that they chose is not the perfect school for them and they would like to consider transferring. So I really want to, again, extend my congratulations and support for our seniors, and thank you, parents, for all your support over the years. Thank you.
Thanks, Anne. So as far as the AP exams, again, that is up in the air at this point, and we are aware, for instance, that some of the flexibility that the College Board is providing in terms of exam dates could conflict with senior week, but the College Board is also giving information regularly, and most recently they talked about the potential for AP exams to be taken at home by students. I have no idea what that would look like, but again, a lot is changing very quickly. And just to give you all a heads up, the governor has closed New York schools until April 1st. So it is likely that we would take the days leading up to spring break, which may be 1 or 2 days. So it looks like at this point, and Dr. Montesano will communicate this to all students and families, but it looks like that we will not be back before spring break takes place. So that's just a heads up in terms of timing. Let's move on to the next slide. We have Amy. So Amy, you can unmute yourself. Let's see. Let's see if I can find, oh, here we go.
Got it. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. So this is the calendar as we see it. As Ann just said, you know, things could change. Let me just start with 2 things that are not on the calendar, which are not, it's a non-school event, but it's the Mom Prom and the Pop Hop, or actually are in April. And right now we're still have them on the calendar. We've been talking to the BFC, but obviously given how close they are, that could change. And if we're not in school, we're obviously not going to be having those parties. But we don't know yet. So we're just keeping them on the calendar and hoping for the best. But again, not putting any money down just in case. Now, then in terms of other things that are on the calendar, Ann just went through, or I guess Ann hasn't gone through yet, but she's going to go through Senior Week, which is the last 2 weeks of May, or last week, or the week of May 17th. And then that leads right into senior shadowing. And the idea of putting this calendar together was just to get parents a sense of when kids are in school and when they're not in school. So you can see as it moves on, like when there are exams, if you don't have exams, kids could be out for quite a bit of time given how late graduation is. So I just wanted to show give everyone the visual of what that looks like. And sort of just give everyone, you can see when prom is and when senior shadowing ends and when the awards are, and then when all this free time will be. So that's all I kind of wanted to get across there. But again, it could change substantially, and we'll just update the calendar as it changes.
Thanks, Amy. So as I mentioned earlier, you can see that there is a bit of flexibility actually, which may before this time seemed like too much free time. But I think what it's going to allow us is some flexibility as we learn, you know, how extensive our closure will be as far as the school being closed. We do have these weeks of senior shadowing if we needed to move into those. We also have the exam period where if we needed to, we might be able to push some of the senior activities into those weeks. So I think that's helpful to be aware of. For now, this is the calendar. We will update it and update you if needed. I'm going to go through very briefly what senior shadowing is. Basically, senior shadowing takes place the week of May 26th, 4 days that week, and then 5 days the following week, which is the week of June 1st. It takes place after senior week. During senior shadowing, total over those 9 days, seniors are required to shadow for 30 hours. They do log their time and submit their logs via a Google Classroom. And I'm going to tell you what some of the things they might do for those 30 hours would be, given what students have done in the past. Really, this is an opportunity for seniors to get out of the building, to explore areas of interest, potentially careers, to do something they haven't had the opportunity to do up to this point. So let's go through some more information. Basically, students have done a variety of things, setting up an internship opportunity through personal contacts. A student cannot shadow their parent, but often students are able to reach out to family friends or professional friends of their parents to set up an opportunity. Some students, well, our WISE students right now, for any of you who have a senior who is in WISE, we are not having them do their internships given school closure and everything else that's going on. So they are instead doing school work for WISE. So this may be an opportunity for them to revisit that internship. Also, for students who decide to perform in the baccalaureate, more information is going to be shared in a little bit about baccalaureate. They do rehearse, and often it's during the 2 weeks of shadowing. So we do allow them to count those rehearsal hours. And then we generate a good number of opportunities that students sign up for. And so what I do is, with the help of some of the parents, we generate opportunities and put them into a Google Doc, and then I make that document available to seniors on a particular day at a particular time, and they can sign up for those opportunities. We allow them to sign up sort of one opportunity for the first 24 hours, and then we open it up. They're really phenomenal options for students. So I'm going to talk for a moment about that. We ask all senior parents if any would be willing to host a senior. Things are very in flux right now, so I think we probably will not send this survey out to parents for a little while, because I can imagine all of you have other things you're thinking about right now, and you may not be able to even tell us if you could host a senior or a group of seniors. But just for your information, for when we do send this out, we have had a variety of opportunities. I gave a couple of examples here. We have opportunities that parents have offered where they might take one senior for the full 2 weeks. They may take a group of seniors, like 10 or 15 seniors, for one day. This has been in a variety of fields and has been really meaningful for our students. And when I share those opportunities, and when I share the survey, you can always ask me questions, or Doug, or I think Lori is also helping, regarding whether an opportunity you're thinking about would make sense. So yeah, that's senior shadowing. Students will do the 30 hours. They will log them and submit that. That takes the place of those 2 weeks of school. And again, it's really to get them out of the building and experiencing something of interest maybe for their career, or just doing something different than a typical school day. I think Angela is going to speak about baccalaureate.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll start off with baccalaureate. First, I just want to say, over baccalaureate and the graduation committees, I just want to thank all of our volunteers. They're mostly 11th grade parents that step up to take on these committees in order to make these two events an enjoyable time for our senior parents. So just shouting out a big thank you to all of the volunteers. Erin Saluti is the baccalaureate chair. She's been homesick, so I'll try to talk a little bit about baccalaureate. You can type in any questions, or she's open to receive emails. Her email address is listed. Baccalaureate's going to be held on Friday, June 19th. It's at 5 p.m. in the high school auditorium, and we will have a brief reception to follow. And we'll be holding an information session for seniors via this format of Zoom. She'll make sure to get that information out to everyone, so the seniors interested in performing and want to hear more about it, they'll log in for that meeting. Performing arts teachers have also spoken to their classes about baccalaureate. Some of the performance categories in the past have been instrumentalists, vocalists, poets, dancers, bands. I think, again, according to how the schedules all play out, the baccalaureate performers may be performing at some of the concerts in the spring. That will help them prepare. And the actual baccalaureate ceremony is mandatory for all seniors, whether they're performing or not. They will all be seated as a grade and watch the performances. One thing that's changing, I know the slide is, I think, 2 slides ahead, but since it's happening the same day, given the construction at Siwanoy, we are keeping the graduation dinner this year at the Bronxville Field Club. Because of the date change, the Field Club was booked. So I don't know, Anne, can you skip up 2 slides to the dinner? I'll just talk about that first.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. We did send out a survey in the beginning of, at the end of the year in December. Overwhelmingly, parents supported holding the dinner the night before graduation. So we are moving ahead with planning. We are not sure when the final email invitation will come out, because we're trying to, again, see how all of this plays out with school being closed. But it will be held Friday night after the Baccalaureate Ceremony, starting at 7:30 p.m. We're going to hold parents, families to 8 people per family, hopefully allowing us to sit you with other families will help us to accommodate more people, and it will increase our numbers. We'll try to do a wait list for people that want more than 8. That way, once we get the initial numbers, we may be able to accommodate you. But we are going to be sending emailed invitations with details, pricing, RSVP dates that will all go out to senior families. I'm going to say early April. Again, we know everything is up in the air, so we'll see how it plays out. We will keep in contact with you. I can't stress enough to any senior parent listening right now to please sign into Membership Toolkit and update your information so that when we send things out, we know that you're going to get everything. Okay, if we could flip back to graduation. And then graduation, of course, will be Saturday the 20th. It begins at 6:45 on the front lawn. There is again a reception following as well to the side on the front lawn. Invites will be mailed approximately May 1st. And what we're doing this year is we're moving our parent packet, which is something that usually goes out via mail to parents after the invitations. We're moving that to an online format this year. And part of what that includes is information about how many tickets you need to reserve for your family for graduation. It's a maximum of 6. If you need less, that's where, we have the seating request. There are optional portrait and video order forms included, tuxedo rental information, Bronxville School Foundation, buy a brick information. Once that does go out, we just ask that you adhere to the RSVP dates, because we'll need to get things moving once we, especially with seating. I'm not even going to say that we'll worry about indoors in case of bad weather, but we're not going to have bad weather. But if that comes out, we'll work on that a little bit down the road once everything settles down about where indoors Anne's going to decide to hold it and how we're going to handle the seating from there. Let's see. Any questions yet? No. Okay, parent packet. That's about all I have right now. Again, you can reach out to me with any questions. My email is there. And I guess that's all I have.
Yep, your email's on this slide. Thanks, Anne.
Yes, okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to the graduation party information, which I am usually not present at the meeting for, but this is a unique circumstance. So I believe Maureen and or Jackie are going to speak, so feel free to unmute yourselves so that you can speak about it.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. Jackie, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Jackie and I are planning the graduation party, which will happen after the graduation ceremony on June the 20th. It's a wonderful Bronxville tradition, which is not school sponsored. And as we all know, we don't know what's going to happen. I kind of feel like this is the one thing that we can maybe pull off because it's not, with due respect to the school, it's not sponsored by the school. We've had 2 families who have graciously offered their homes, the Portners, for the actual party, and then the breakfast at the McSherry's house on the byway. We will be sending an email to all of you with more detail about the timing and the timeline of the night. How the party's from 11:30 to 3:30, and then there's a bagpipe escort that the kids will walk with, and the police from the Portner's house to the McSherry's for a breakfast after. There's a waiver that would need to be signed by every family. The cost, as you see on this, is $200. We're hoping to have these waivers due by May 15th. And just to know that the party is obviously funded by the $200 from each family. So in order for us to commit to, DJs and all that sort of stuff, we're going to need money to, and I know it's just a weird time because we just don't know what's going to happen. But I think that letter the email letter that will follow will answer most questions. And it's just a really nice tradition. So I'm just, we just hope that it'll be a great night. We've got a very eager and excited committee of people already that have agreed to work. We are going to need more volunteers. And at this point, we're still looking for a volunteer to organize the volunteers. So if anyone's interested in doing that, please reach out to myself or Jackie. Jackie, have I forgotten anything?
No, I don't think so. I think, we're trying to put together the letter and it will be emailed out to everybody. So as Angela said, the emails need to be current on everybody's, on the website with the school. Otherwise, you won't be receiving one. And the thing with the waiver, unless that waiver is signed, and even if you've paid the money, your child will not be able to attend without the waiver. And that's about it.
I think the other thing is, obviously, Helen Knapp is the treasurer for the party, and you'll see that in the letter. If you send the $200 and if for some awful reason this party does not happen, your money will be returned, if the party doesn't happen, just so people know that. So I think that's it.
Great, thanks. I believe that is our last slide, so it is. If anyone have any questions, you are welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question or type it into the chat box, and any of us who presented are happy to answer it. I understand we've said this many times during this presentation, quite a few things are up in the air. Although it seemed maybe earlier in the year that the change of graduation date was an inconvenience, that might actually end up helping us quite a bit given our current situation, because it provides more flexibility for us between now and graduation. I would also say that prom is scheduled on, I believe I better double check before I say this, at the end of May. And that is because the school is hosting NYSMA on the typical day that we would have it, which is typically the last day of AP. So this year, prom is on May 29th. Again, later than we would normally have it, but that this year I think is going to be a good thing because it just gives us a bit more flexibility to try to make these things happen. Any questions?
I have a question. It's Priscilla.
Hi, Priscilla. Go ahead.
This is for Angela. Angela, so I understand we're limited to 6 seats for graduation. Will there be open seating in the back if there are additional family members?
Absolutely. The way it's normally set up every year, there's reserved seats for parents for each family, and then open seating in the back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Other questions? Also, as you saw, there are email addresses on this presentation. I will email it out to everyone. I did record this, and we will find a way to post it on the website so that anyone who is not able to attend can listen to it or go through the presentation. Feel free to reach out to any of the individuals that are in charge of any of these specific activities. Stay safe, stay healthy, social distance, and thank you all for attending. We will be in touch, and be in touch definitely if anything starts to change.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.